Alright guys, so what is good YouTube? It's your boy Legendary EA and we are back here for another video. And we are doing the 2K21. It's going to be dropping in the next few weeks. And I asked you guys yesterday because a lot of people wanted to hear about my wish list. And I was like, it's kind of late in the game. But if you guys want to hear it, I will. So I actually dropped a poll yesterday. And a lot of you guys said that I should put it out. But once again, you guys, if you guys are not subscribed, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Turn on post notifications so that you guys are notified whenever I upload. And trust me, whenever 2K21 comes, we're going to be dropping a lot of videos, grinding out. We're going to be doing a lot of Myleague, maybe even be doing my team and my park and a lot of 2K content and a lot of basketball content as well. But also make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my second channel as well, because I will be posting some videos on there every once in a while too. And I will be finishing out my net series on there, so make sure to go ahead and check out that channel. But yeah, man, obviously, like I said before, this is going to be my wish list for Myleague. And I know that the game is literally only a few weeks away. Like, it's coming out in like 4 weeks, like 3 to 4 weeks. So I know that 2K probably won't be able to implement all of this stuff. I feel like most of this stuff should already be in the game. Like, I'm going to be honest. And like, I feel like the Myleague community has honestly been left behind for so long. I understand that we don't make the money, but sheesh, bruh. Like, King of the Fourth Quarter is one of the biggest 2K in general influencers. Like, how on earth do you not even care? Like, he's getting hundreds of thousands of views within hours of dropping a video. Like, sometimes that has to be like respected. And I feel like they only really gauge everything towards park, and then they throw in my team because my team makes them hella money, and then everything else they're like, screw it. So I really feel like our community is really left behind because most of this stuff should already be in the game, and it's kind of crazy that it's not. But like I said before, if this is not in the game, it could honestly be thrown in even in a patch, because let's be honest, the Myleague part of the game barely takes up any space of this big ass download that we download every single year. We honestly get no kind of updates, nothing. Like, they can honestly just throw us a little patch or just throw this in the game. But starting this thing off, but for the first thing, I'm talking about a buyout clause, because, you know, I think that should already be something that is once again already in the game. But pretty much this allows you to negotiate a buyout. And I feel like this is so important because it's something that you can do in the NBA in real life. If a player is signed to a horrible deal, you literally can buy them out and negotiate how much money they actually want as far as a full contract, and separate it over a period of years. Literally in the game, they already have buyout clauses from real teams. Like, example, players like Darren Williams, if you scroll over to like the Brooklyn Nets, he's sometimes always on their books. And I feel like if they're cognizant to actually put that in the game, why can't the user do it? Now also, load management, I feel like that should be included in the game as well. Just because, you know, not every player plays every single game. Maybe have it somewhere where certain coaches like to load manage players. This is mainly for Myleague, not MyGm, because let's be honest, we all migrated from MyGm a long time ago. It was really a cool mode. It was my original mode. I used to play it a lot with me, Agent, and a bunch of other YouTubers at the time. But those cutscenes got too annoying, and it was just weird. Like, literally, they would have cutscenes with no audio, so like you get to read text. It was weird, but overall it was a pretty cool mode, but like it was just so limited in what you could actually do. So maybe as far as MyGM goes, add draft classes and at least make that mode a little bit more customizable, but fun. If not, we'll just stick to playing Myleague. Not that big of a deal. But another cool thing that I would want to see in this game is players can force their way out and tell you where they want to go. So example, some of those players have like those ambitions, which for some reason they don't really matter unless you boost it up in the settings, which is kind of stupid. Like, those should always matter for every single player. But pretty much some players want to win. And let's say that they are on a team that has had a losing record for years. Maybe they want to force their way out. Maybe they don't like their playing time over a few seasons and they forced their way out. You get a notification the same way that like 2K shows us whose like morale is going lower. Right there, it shows that their morale is going down, and then we click on their player and it says that this player has demanded a trade. A quick little symbol or notification saying that they want to get traded, and then we need to trade them by the deadline. And if we don't, you know, depending on some players, not every single time, but sometimes that player sits out or something like that. Like, I feel like that'd be really, really cool. And I feel like that would make the game mode, like, the one problem about Myleague right now is that it's just so predictable. Like, we know what's gonna happen. We know how to get players. Any one of us, me, Massa, 6 Rings of Steel, Kenny, all of us know how to get any player that we really want to. Like, Giannis is going to be there. We know he doesn't always re-sign with Milwaukee. Trading for certain players gets so easy. And I feel like doing this would just make it more variable and more diverse as far as like the content goes and just the experience, which would allow people to play more because 2K doesn't even realize that Myleague has the most potential out of every single game mode. Another thing is that I want more players to sign in realistic places, man. In realistic places in free agency. A player like Giannis is not going to be going to the Hornets. Even if they offer him a contract, that team has been garbage for years. Why would he leave the Bucks and go to the Hornets because they paid him slightly more money or the same contract as the Bucks? That makes no sense. Like, I see it way too much. And the thing is, maybe he goes there if another top player signed there. So maybe if Paul George is going there too, Giannis goes there. But Giannis going there alone to like play with Devontae Graham, to me, is just not adding up. Like, I see that way too much to where like Giannis signs with the Bulls after the Bulls are in the lottery and he just goes there, or like Kawhi leaves the Clippers, signs with the Utah Jazz. Like, all that stuff to me is a little bit too random, and I think that at least have it to where some of these top players are going to good teams or going to bad teams with other good players to make it actually make sense and kind of level out. Another thing is a playable G League. Now, obviously, this is something that won't be used a lot, but maybe just allow us to like play a few games in the G League because some players go in the G League and they are busting everyone up. So maybe have that. And while we're talking about the G League, 2K needs to implement this new program that they're doing with top players, the pathway program thing, because obviously as far as scouting goes, because I do want to talk about scouting a little bit more later on, so I think that I'll just do it there. But pretty much as far as scouting goes, we should be able to scout players like Jalen Green or players who go through that pathway. Our scouting on them should be a lot more accurate. The next thing is a more realistic stat line, because sometimes whenever you sim for a while, there's like 20 guys putting up 30 points per game. And yes, I am exaggerating a little bit, but sometimes it just gets out of hand to where there are too many guys putting up insane numbers and I'm not even changing the settings. There's nothing changed anywhere, but sometimes once you sim a few like years, everyone is putting up insane numbers. Or let's say we have a guy like James Harden. One season, he's putting up 30. Next season, he's putting up like 18. Or like Giannis. Giannis can like go from 30 to like 12. Like, I feel like that's something that needs to be fixed. And I feel like they should be able to like adjust what kind of range this player normally scores in. And maybe he doesn't hit it every single time, but it would be cool if they could add a feature like that. While we're talking about simming, potential and ratings has to be fixed, you guys. Potential and ratings has to be fixed. Like, let's start off with the G League again. Yes, players go to the G League and they get better, but ain't no player coming back from the G League above a 80 overall. And even an 80 is a little high if you ask me. Even an 80 is a little high if you ask me, because most of these guys coming out of the G League, they would start off at like a 75 or 79, somewhere in that range. 79 should honestly be where it's at. If players go into the G League, let them develop, but the highest overall that they can be, depending on where they start off at, like a first round rookie in the G League, maybe he comes out around a 78 or 79. If you put a 60 overall rookie in the G League, he should not come out above 74. He really shouldn't, because that is just not feasible. Like, you put Bobo in the G League for 1 or 2 years, homie's coming out at like an 87. That is ridiculous. I'm sorry. There are too many 90 overalls in the game once you sim for so long. And I feel like regression is not even a thing, because once you sim 10 years in the league, there's like 190 overalls. LeBron is still a 98, which makes no freaking sense. Luka's 99 and he's like 30 something now. Like, it just gets too out of hand to where we have 40-year-old players that are still in the league at like 99 overalls, like 95 overalls. Everyone in the league gets good, which they always do as far as generations go, then their overall would still be compared to the competition. So I feel like the overalls, maybe they increase a little bit, but there should be a limit. Like, they should only be able to be like at max, like 8 plus 90 overalls. Because at some point it gets kind of ridiculous whenever you see somebody who's been in the G League or some random player like like Alonzo Trier. In year 10, he's like a 95 overall. And it's like, no. And the thing is, let's even take a deeper dive as far as potential goes. I feel like potential is really important, but 2K, not every person reaches their potential. So I feel like, once again, they should randomize it, and this would make things a lot more fun, because know why? We would go into drafts, and some of us would have the first pick has 90 plus potential. Like we do one sim, Zion is a bust. We do another sim, Zion is like the greatest player of all time. We do another sim, Zion is like a mid-average player, just a decent player. I like different variables, and yes, players do not always reach their potential, and some of them even exceed it. So yes, still have training camps as far as like their potential goes, but not everyone reaches it. So I feel like it'd be better if 2K didn't make it seem like every person reaches their potential. Pretty much, I want a more realistic game mode. And the thing is, I really don't think that that's asking for a lot. Next up, let's talk about the salary cap, because sometimes these damn contracts get way too expensive. And it seems like the salary cap does not equate with that, or does not go with that at all. Like, I've been doing a sim on my own personal time, and Giannis eventually got to the point where he was making $70 million a year. The salary cap barely increased than what it was in real life right now. It took up like 90% of my cap room. And I feel like at some point, first off, you guys need to fix that. Like, fix the cap thing. Fix the cap situation. If you guys can't do it, some of this stuff is online as far as like the cap and what it's supposed to be in a few years. But let's say that you guys don't want to do that. Just make sure it does not increase and just leave it as it is right now. But let's even go on to a further thing. The expectations for salary needs to be fixed. I don't want to see Bol coming off of his rookie season in the G League, and now he's telling me he wants $17 million a year. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a player who gets 5 minutes of playing time on my team, but he's somehow an 85, which is one thing. Again, the ratings nonsense. He wants $20 million a year. Julius Randle should not be wanting $40 million a year, ever. Like, that should not be happening. Who else? Let's think about it. A player like Chris Middleton is not asking me for a supermax. He's not. And he's actually a really good player. But in real life, he's never going to do that. So why is he doing that in the game? Like, to me, the contracts in this game are just random. We have 70 overalls with no playing time. Nothing. These dudes go unsigned into the season because there's no cap room and they don't want too much damn money. And also make it to where if players are not getting any love in contract negotiations, let them be able to take less money anyways. Like, to me, that just makes the most sense in general. For this next one, this is kind of an axe, but pretty much have a throwback mode where like pretty much people can just go into the previous years as far as 2K goes. And I know that this is hard, but you guys already have historic rosters. So this does take time out of y'all's day a little bit, but just go back and have a throwback mode for literally people to go back and play with previous teams of past seasons in a past league. So example, I want to go back to like 2012. Go back to the 2012 season and play with those players all on the correct rosters. Now, yeah, I understand that you guys don't have permissions to use all of those players because maybe some of those guys are retired. Cool, use filler players. You guys love using Michael Brown. I would be down for that, but literally I do think that that would be something cool that a lot of your fans would really appreciate. Next up is faster simulation. Oh my goodness. The only time that this thing is fast is on PC, and that's from what I've heard. But if you're playing on PS4 or Xbox, my goodness, it takes forever. I was literally doing that video with 6 from Rings of Steel. His sim, because like we're doing it live, his sim took him like 2 minutes. Mine took me like 15, or like it takes forever. Like if I am simming a season and I have everything on auto, it shouldn't take all that long. Like that's all I'm saying. It really shouldn't, and I feel like that's something that like you guys could fix, but apparently it's because of the tickers. But have a way for us to turn that off or something, because that takes way too long. I talked about scouting, but let's even go further, because we should be able to scout players and play with them during the pre-draft, because I know that before the season and the offseason, you guys let us sim games or maybe even play with the but no one does that. But have it to where we can at least shoot around with them, or maybe even have a scrimmage. If we can have a scrimmage with them, that would be even better. But all I'm really asking for is literally at least have it to where we can do a shoot around with them, a freestyle game or something. Like that would be really, really cool, because that would help us scout us. Because what if somebody has a broken jump shot and I don't want to use that? That would be pretty cool. That's all I'm saying. Next up is historic draft classes, which you guys already have in the game. I appreciate that. But if you use them and you draft them, they have like 9-year pro, 5-year pro. So you sim the season and they aren't even rookie of the year. They aren't even in the rookie class. So it makes it pointless. So I feel like you guys should be able to fix that. Like, that is a really quick fix as well. I don't want to see y'all's filler players being higher overalls than real people. Do not make them a 79 overall to where they're the second best player in a draft class with Steph Curry, James Harden, and Blake Griffin. Like, if you guys are gonna use real players or use fake filler players, that's cool. Make them like 40 overalls or like 65 overalls, because I don't want to play with them. They should not be better than actual players. And once again, fix the years for these players once they're drafted, because I'm drafting them because I want them to be rookies at the end. So thanks, guys. But next up, start today mode. Every single year that I've been doing this, start today mode starts to not work during the playoffs, which to me is ridiculous, because I get that you guys cannot sim into the playoffs, but why turn off the mode if you guys are gonna, like, you guys don't update anything after a certain while, especially in my league anyways. But turning off start today mode is ridiculous to me, because why not just keep it on and put it at the end of the season? Take it back then, and I don't think no one's really gonna even still complain a lot. Once again, their realistic signings things is really important to me, because some players, after they win championships, I don't want to see them leaving. It just doesn't add up, especially if they were happy. To me, it doesn't really add up. The only person who's done that is Kawhi. But once again, he is a anomaly. That never happens. A really cool thing for us to be able to do is the ability to retire jersey numbers. Like, I feel like that is something really important, because I feel like whenever you're using a team and you sim for a while and one of those players becomes like a legend on that team, they leave or we trade them, I don't necessarily want somebody wearing that number. So it would be cool if I can ban players from wearing numbers. That'd be pretty cool, but that's not super important. But I do feel like that is something that needs to happen. But even whenever a player retires, we should be able to retire their number, regardless if 2K wants to or not. We should be able to do that. And lastly, the ability to trade coaches. I feel like everything that NBA teams should be able to do in real life should be able to be done in Myleague and even MyGm. But regardless, you guys, that was all my thoughts and my wishes for NBA 2K21. We'll see if any of them are implemented into the game. I think that some of them are from leaked stuff that I've seen. I hope so. But once again, most of this stuff, that even if it's not there, they can patch it or add it into next gen. I will be doing it on both PS4 and PS5, hopefully. Regardless, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and like it up, and of course subscribe. Leave me y'all's wish list and y'all's biggest suggestions for 2K in the comment section below. And yo, send this video to Mike Wang and Ronnie, especially Mike Wang, because Mike Wang has the power to actually change a lot of this stuff. I'm not sure about Ronnie. Ronnie's kind of like just like the community guy, but send these to a lot of the devs and all of these guys. Get this video popping. And like I said before, you guys, a lot of more content coming to this channel, especially when 2K21 drops. We're going crazy, especially that first week. We're going crazy. Regardless, you guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like it up, and of course subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I am out. Peace, y'all.